Welcome to our show, Your Miracle Resource. As always, you've been a part of our show for the last couple of months, and we've loved the feedback that you've given us. Thank you so much. We bring you a resource that helps you personally and professionally and will transform you. I am so excited about today's guest. His last name is Brite, and my last name is Miracle, so you know you're in for a great show. So when we talk about our guest, I'm going to ask him what I always ask you guys every week. What is your miracle resource? Your miracle resource is that God-given talent or that talent that you've developed and you've worked on. Our guest today is a subject matter expert, a speaker, an author, and an incredible friend. So I'd like to introduce you to Arthur Brite.
It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, Katherine. And you mentioned your God-given talent or your miracle resource, and really that's how I view it, as I was given this talent by my Father in heaven to say, this is how I'm going to serve and go out into the world and serve. I found early in my career that I really enjoyed public speaking, and whatever I was going to learn during my career, I wanted to be able to go out and at some time pass that along and serve in that way. And that's really the opportunity that has opened up for me to not only write the books, but to go out and to speak and to do training to let people know that you can deal with people in a humanity way, in a business sense, rather than that you have to be what in the past people have thought. And that's what I constantly preach on, is the fact that you can lift people up. Leaders build other leaders. And when you do that, you set up an environment that people thrive in, people have fun in, and people just really take off in. So that's really what I love to do and what I'm able to serve in that way.
And congratulations and thank you for what you're doing. You're helping so many people.
Well, thank you. They help me. That's the thing that people always must realize. It's through our giving that we gain back so much more, and we learn that as well. And I talk to people about fun, especially in the business world. One of the things when I went out and I speak to people, they'll say, they'll give me a whole list of things that they would like to see from their leadership. And it's one of the things they always mention is they want two things: a real connection with their leader, but they also want to be in an environment of fun. Fun, when an environment is fun, we do our best work, we're the most productive, and we learn the most. You even see that in schools. When classrooms are fun, kids don't even know they're learning. They don't even realize it. And that's what you can engage people as well. And when you set people up in the business world in a creative, fun, supportive atmosphere, you inspire people to not only produce themselves, but also to build themselves and develop themselves as leaders. And that's such a great thing to watch people really thrive and be developed and move on and get a sense, because they pass that along. Not just in their business life, they pass that along in their personal life, how they deal with their spouse, their kids, their family, or friends. We are all here about how we can serve as human beings and develop other people and really help everybody thrive.
And speaking of fun, and speaking of helping people, you have a book, and we have a visual of that book.
Thank you so much. Yes,
Love
I do.
to see that.
This is my new bestseller. It's on Amazon. It's called Successful Managers Must Lead. And when I came out with the title, it's funny. I was going to come out with Lead, Don't Manage, and the agent goes, no, there's too many of those. So it also says why leadership works and how it's done, because I want people to realize if they're going to look at this, they're going to see how you can lift other people up in leadership roles. And I talk to people, people don't want to be managed. Mm-hmm. People want to be led. So if we go to the next slide, you'll be able to see how I talk about how you build your team. And the first thing I always talk about in these leadership seminars I do is it's leaders truly building leaders. Too often, Katherine, I'd see people who would get into a leadership role and say, you have to do it my way, and no. Your way is not always going to work for everybody else. Plus the fact, when you do that, you're separating yourself and creating really a barrier. I tell people, if you choose to lead by yourself, the only person you're going to lead is yourself. Leaders build other leaders, and you build your team and you build other people around you in business and your personal life. With my formula is, as up on here, is respect plus trust equals relationship. And it's funny, when I go to these seminars, wherever I travel in the world, no matter the culture or the companies, I'll tell them there's 3 criteria, and they'll be like, they're waiting for the Holy Grail. And I said, you know what it is? It's honesty, integrity, and humanity. And they're like, but that sounds so simple. It is. We too often get wrapped up in the business world that we have to be pushy, we have to force ourselves, we have to micromanage. But if we put ourselves in their position, that's not what we'd want. We want someone to be open and honest with us, because then there's no hidden agenda. We want someone who's going to have integrity, someone who's going to be moral, ethical human being that you can really truly respect, once again, and trust, and have that strong relationship. And the last part is the humanity. When did it become okay not to be a human being to others? First and foremost, we are human beings. And it's just so vital. It's funny, when I was first put in a management position, they said, don't make your team your friends. Don't. It's like, I can't do that. I have to be, we're all supposed to be supporting and inspiring and working together and creating a team atmosphere. Our company, our team. And that's what you do when you show people that you have integrity, you have humanity for them, they thrive. And what I talk about is how it just makes such a difference. And by the way, it makes your job a lot easier.
True.
As a leader, you do. People think you have to do all this. Let your people grow. Let them lead. Let them also have that, and they just take off from there.
I love your formula. We have it on screen now. That is so great.
Thank you. And it sounds so basic. It's funny because when I tell people that, they're like, "But that's," and it is. And let's keep it at that. And this isn't, once again, these aren't just for business. This is in your personal life and in any aspect of what you do. And I tell people, we are first and foremost human beings put on this earth to serve others. And as you and I have talked about, through that giving, the receiving we get back just takes off. And you talk about your miracle resource. For me, it's been a miracle to be able to be in this position. This position is such a blessing, what I'm able to, in the journey I've been on. But I know where that journey goes and who put me on that. And we have to always maintain that that's the most important thing. And that's the fun part.
That's great.
It's
Congratulations.
So much fun.
I mean,
Thank
this
you.
is amazing. You're going to be in Vegas speaking.
I am.
You were sharing that with me. There's a lot of good things happening. So when you look at the steps to help people, how does that work? Let's bring up that visual.
Okay, this next, and one of the most important things, the next visual that and you'll see on the screen is this. When I talk about emotional stability, I talked about, as a leader, you want to be able to show integrity, humanity, and honesty. But we get caught up in leadership roles where things start coming at us. As parents, we do too. You know, you got this and this. And we always must remember, as leaders, we are showing examples. We do more teaching through our examples than through our talking. And one of the things I talk to people about, and it's, once again, in your personal life as well, is having the emotional stability. And by that I mean we get faced with items, challenges, people, stuff comes at us. We can choose to either try to be super person and put it all in a boiling cauldron, and all that happens is it overwhelms us, we lose it, and the person on our team is going, I can't come to you now. If you show people emotional stability, they will learn not only that you can once again have the respect and the trust. The other thing is they're going to learn how they, in their lives, can also use it. So when I talk about emotional stability, the 4-step Brite plan, it's this. You first must take and identify whatever that item is being brought to you. And you don't just do it yourself. You may do it with a single person or your team. I can tell you, we used to get directives come down from the ivory tower, the home office, and everybody's like, I say, you know what, guys, I'm not going to direct you and tell you have to do this. We are going to collectively, all as a team, identify what it is, and we're all going to come together on the best route for us. So the first thing is to identify. The second thing you do is you look at the options. And I don't care how crazy they are. And it's not just you. Everybody puts those options up on how to deal with this. And then you do the analyzing. And this can take you 2 minutes, 2 days, 2 hours. But what you've done is then you finally decide. And now you have come together on a plan that says, we thought through all this. We worked together as a team. Now they also take ownership of that. And everybody feels that they were listened to and how important it is. And that's what really makes a difference. And they go, so I can deal with you. So I don't have to worry about it versus the manager who people are afraid to, no. And this is also something you do in life. This is what I use with my kids, and because you know how that can be when they're coming at you. But really in life, that's just how things are. Emotional stability says, I care about you, I respect you, and we're going to build a trust here, and we're going to move forward with that.
This is a
simple
great
plan.
system. I mean, it's easy to implement, which I love, and it goes right back to the formula.
Exactly.
So this success you're taking around the world, you're sharing this and training people and challenging people. That's amazing.
And that's the fun part. And what I'm going to do now, since you mentioned success, is if we could go to the next slide, is these are what I talk to people about, my 4 C's for success. And let me explain it. Whenever I talk to, seriously, whenever I go talk to international CEOs, or when I talk to prisons, or when I talk to community, it's humanity-based, and this is what we must always remember. We all want to feel that we matter, we're part of something, that we're important, and that we can make a contribution. And be it those CEOs or inmates or anyone, they're still, as human beings, we're wondering. And here's when I present these 4 C's for success, what they are is and I use little hand signals, especially they're commitment, communication, connection, and create. And I'll show you what I mean.
Okay.
The first thing people want to see in any leadership, be it as a parent or in business, is your commitment to them. That you are committed to them. When you do that, you show a passion to people. And people want someone who is genuine. That's that honesty I talked about. Mm-hmm. And it's so important. When I compiled my list, genuine and passion were one of the first 2 things that everybody in this crazy world of ours has said, that's what they want to see in leadership. Because that's that's how they want to be, and that's what they relate to. That commitment says, I care about you, and I care about where we're going to go, and we have a vision for where we can take people. The second is communication. And as in leadership roles, we have to be very clear in our communication. Because if we are, there's no misunderstanding or frustration. Too often I would see people say, I didn't know what they wanted, I didn't understand. But when we have a clear, concise understanding, then people feel that they feel respected and that you're setting them up for success. The most important communication skill we have in business and in life is our ability to listen. We've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We don't learn when we're speaking. We learn when we listen and observe. So when you ask a team member a question, listen. When you ask your spouse, your kids, your family, your friends, you listen to them, because when you listen to them, you're showing them respect, and that respect is returned. And then the trust comes in, and you've strengthened that relationship. And that's what I talk to people about. We get so caught up in, no. They want that same respect. This all goes back to that golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Just treat people the way you want to be treated. And when you keep that as part of what your mantra, you go, okay, that's how I'd want to be treated. That's okay, and that's how I should treat others. That's what that clear communication does. And when you do that, when you are committed and show and communicate clearly, the third and most important is you form this connection. Employees and customers alike tell me, Katherine, that the most important thing to them is to feel connected to the company either they're working for or the company they're working with. Connection says you matter, you're important, you're part of our team. It's funny, whenever I go talk to businesses, I'll say, when your employee's at home, you don't have to worry about their production, that's their family. So why don't we create the same atmosphere in the workplace, a feeling of team, a feeling of family? Because when you do, you don't have to worry about people's production. They're doing things because they want to, not because they have to, because it's now our team, our family, our company. And when I do this, people just thrive. And I've had CEOs say, this is what turned our company around because people didn't feel connected. And that connection brings people back. And when you do that, the 4th C is you create success because you've created an atmosphere where people thrive. And those are the 4. And when I do that, I tell them there's 2 more that come in. You give people confidence and you give people control. And we all want to have a confidence we're doing the right thing, that we're able to do the right thing, and the confidence that we will be supported and that inspired and that we will get what we need. And that gives us this control, and you see a difference in people when I feel that they are now in control of what they're doing rather than they're unsure, and they have that confidence. Once again, you are a leader building other leaders and watching people develop and thrive, and you did it with integrity, honesty, and humanity, and how fun was that?
Oh, that's great.
And that's what I talk about. These are the ingredients to win in life. You guarantee your success in your professional and personal life by doing these things. And they seem very simple, but if you can maintain these things, these simple plans, it takes away so many of the other things. And by the way, it's very freeing. It really takes away a lot of the stress and a lot of what should I be doing? everything you do, if you come back to these, you go, okay, this is how it fits into this, and this is what's going to set my team up for success. Because you must always remember, people leave people, they don't leave companies. They also stay because of people.
True.
And one of the biggest compliments I ever got is I had my team would say, listen, I get called by recruiters now, but I don't know if I could ever find someone like you. And that's what you want to know. That validates. I wasn't doing their job. They're better at their job than I was. I was setting a whole atmosphere of we're all going to help support each other and we'll all thrive and go on from there. And it's all humanity based, Catherine. It really is. And that's what makes it so much fun, and that's why people just seem to be so successful doing it.
I think our viewers would say, and our listeners on podcasts, they wish they had you as the boss.
Well, thank you so much.
They need to get that book. That's great. Congratulations on everything you're doing.
Thank you so much.
This is so exciting.
It really is.
And any last thoughts? Anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about?
Really, I just wanted to bring home the fact of people have to understand the difference they can make in other people's lives. And when they do it, they gain back so much more. We do our learning this way, we see development in people, and they learn from us as well. What you will find is a great enrichment in your life by doing that. You truly do. And I know sometimes people say, well, no, when you experience that, I've had people come to me and go, oh, well, thank you for doing it. I feel selfish sometimes. Like, you don't understand what I'm getting back from you by doing this. And that's how he wants us to be. We are here to serve and serve humanity. And just back to the quote I said, if you choose to lead by yourself, you're only going to lead yourself. And that's not going to go anywhere. That's no fun. But when you see other people around you just developing and moving forward in your business and in your personal life, it's special.
It's amazing to hear your purpose, and thank you for sharing.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
This is incredible.
I really appreciate
I love
that.
the formula, and I love the steps as well. It's easy to follow, and as you said, they're great ingredients to win in life. So for all of the viewers, I want to thank you so very much for being with us today. And I also want to remind you, I've been getting the feedback from your reading Discovering Your Dawn, and I'm going to have you pull up the visual now. Discovering Your Dawn, we're reading until December 31st, and I want to thank all of you for reading it. I know it's a tough read. You need some tissues. It's based on a true story. It was really, really difficult to write. But the reason that we're having you read that till December 31st is it's that basis for unlocking your potential to then going into our book club, which starts January 1st, 2019, for your strategic personal brand. And you can get both books on Amazon. While you're there, please get Arthur's book. You've got some great books to read, and we'll look forward to seeing you in our next show. Thank you for joining us at Your Miracle Resource.